Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about your most disappointed romance reads of 2021. Yeah, this is the last video I'm filming for this year. What the fuck baby, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Happy fucking New Year. Hope you have a good time. What are you doing for it? Let me know in the comments below how you're going to be spending it. Hope you have a good time. Hope you drink a few bevies for me. If you drink. If you don't drink, well, you know what? I don't know what you do on New Year's Eve if you don't drink. Today, I just wanted to finish off the year. What a year it has been with some disappointing reads of this year. I asked you guys on Instagram to tell me what was a book that you read in 2021 that disappointed you. Like, underwhelmed you. Didn't hit the spot. You didn't get the hype. You know, you felt like this book was overhyped. And you guys gave me a ton of books to talk about today. And I secretly love being a shady bitch. It's the Gemini in me. But please don't take any offense to any books that I talk about today that you guys may have read. Everyone has different reading tastes, okay? Something that might tickle my fancy might not tickle yours, and that's okay. That's the beauty of reading. That's the beauty of life. You know, everyone's different. Everyone's meant to be different, and I like that we're all different little specimens that walk the planet. You know, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me today. If you're not following me on Instagram, don't be fucking rude. The link is down below. I chat lots of shit on there, you know. Give out opinions that no one asked for, randomly give you 40-minute rants about, I don't know, life. Alright, without further ado, I'm going to jump into this video and we're going to kick off with some books that disappointed you. So the first one that came up from Carla, my honey bunny, she said, These Thorn Kisses by Swann. Haven't read it. Don't know much about it, but apparently she was disappointed by this bad boy. To be real with you and to be completely honest, not a massive fan of Swann. I'm not. I really, like, not her as a person, but her books. Like, I love The Unrequited. I liked Medicine Man, but that was it. That was it. I tried to read A Gorgeous Villain a couple of months ago, DNF'd it because I couldn't get into it. I don't know, it just, her writing just doesn't tickle my fancy, and that is okay. It's surprising to me that Carla said this book disappointed her. I follow her on Instagram. She's a bookstagrammer. She talks about Saffron's books all the time. So this is quite surprising to me. Don't know if it's surprising to you, but it is to me. Next up, we've got Sicko by Amo Jones. Absolutely not. This is one of my favourite standalones of all time, baby. But I must admit, I'm a diehard fan. I'm a diehard fan? I'm a diehard fan of Amo. But her writing is, and plots and stories and her books are definitely for particular people. Not everyone's gonna like her stuff, I know that. And I always say that when I talk about her on my channel. It doesn't surprise me that some people didn't enjoy this, but it's one of my favorites. Fuck off. A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm going to read this in the new year. I bought them all months ago because I saw everyone popping off about it. I don't read fantasy, but you know what? I can get into a bit of paranormal and fantasy-esque type books. So I did purchase them. I reckon I'm going to find it overhyped just because, like, all of TikTok was like, oh my god, this year about this series. So it's going to be interesting when I get around to it. I will film like a whole fucking reading vlog. I'll probably take like 2 weeks off of filming just so I could read and do a full-blown in-depth reading vlog. But we'll see when I get around to it. But yes, someone said A Court of Thorns and Roses. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. I actually purchased this the other day. It's on the way, baby. I'm ready to read this because I've seen so many people talk about it, and now that someone has said it disappointed them, I'm scared. I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'm all of the above, baby. I've seen so many people talk about this book, so I had to purchase it. But apparently you didn't enjoy it. Which, that's a pity. That's unfortunate. The Spanish Love Deception. Now, I have this on my shelf. I'm planning on reading it very soon. I read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and I loved it. So I think I'm gonna like The Spanish Love Deception, even though it's different authors, but it's still kind of like a part of the mainstream books that people talk about. I've been going through like a phase of reading like mainstream, I guess, more like contemporary romance instead of just like dark romance, and kind of like rom-coms. Like, I'm really digging that at the moment. So I was going to purchase this, but now I've been thrown off, just like I have been with Tessa Bailey's book, because this came up quite a lot in the disappointing reads of this year. But then I've seen so many people love this book and talk about it, and I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't read it, obviously. That's why I can't give you like a review on it. I thought it was meant to be really good. Maybe it won't tickle my fancy. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. By Sin I Rise by Cora Riley, part 1 and 2. Yeah. I read this and I fucking agree 100%. I'm sorry, Cora. You guys know how much I fucking love the Kimura Chronicles and Born in Blood. Like, are you kidding me? I'm a Mafia fucking queen, and those books rocked my fucking socks off. These two though, what the fuck? I did post a review on Goodreads. If you want to follow my Goodreads, it's down below in the description box, like the link. You can go see the review there. But I was just like so disappointed. I don't believe it needed to be split into 2 parts, that's for fucking sure. I don't believe that the plot had much going on at all. And I felt like the mafia aspect of the story was completely missed. Like, it was really soft. It fell flat. The sex fell flat. Marcella, the character, the heroine, fell flat. Even the hero fell flat for me. I just didn't get into it. I didn't like it. I was so disappointed, and that makes me really sad because I love Cora's books. I love them, but I must admit, man, the last couple of releases haven't ticked the boxes for me. They really haven't. But this, I was, yeah, really upset about it. But I didn't have high expectations because I'd been so disappointed by her recent releases. I wasn't expecting much from the part 2 of this story because I didn't enjoy part 1 as much. And even when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, it's actually worse than what I was expecting. I feel so bad even saying that, but it just wasn't it, baby. I hope Cora can turn this around and pull out some fucking bangers in this series, because there is some books in the Kimura Chronicles and the Born in Blood that I don't particularly like, but I love the rest of them, and it outweighs how much I don't like certain books. And I hope that's the case with this series too, because I was ready for a new Mafia world where the next gen just dominate, change the game, flip the Mafia world upside down, and I was just ready for something so new and different. And I read it and I was like, sorry, what? Like, this is not it. It just wasn't it. So I 110% fucking agree that this was the most disappointing book of this year. Books, I should say, because we're talking about part 1 and part 2. There Are No Saints. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Like, I love Sophie Lark, but this book just didn't do it for me. I haven't read the follow-up because it is a duet. I do own it though. I will get around to it. I didn't hate the book, but I was not impressed by it, which makes me feel really sad too because I love Sophie. But you know what? Just because you love an author and you love so many of their books doesn't mean you're going to love every single book that they come out with. There's been books that I've read from an author that I love and then I don't like the rest of their backlist. It just depends on what they're writing, and that's fine. I hate how, like, some of my curls have dropped and then these two are just, like, up here like that. Like, what the actual fuck? The Love Hypothesis, which I just bought today from Kmart. Yes, I'm going to read this even though it's fucking third person, but I want to see for myself. Again, this turned up in people's favorites of the year, and it's also turned up in their most disappointed books of the year. So it's very interesting seeing how some books are like people's fucking, you know, ride or dies, and others are just like, that was terrible for me. I just find it fascinating. Trist 6 Venom. Oh, this is painful for me to say, baby. Oh, this is painful for me to say. But I totally have to agree. I have to agree with this one. I liked Trist 6 Venom. But I feel like so much of the plot was not necessary and it was too big. I feel like authors need to start scaling back on how big their books are. Like, I feel like Mariana Zapata, she can get away with big books because she's a slow burn writer. And she's not just like a slow burn writer, she's a slow burn writer. So I can justify her books being huge. But other authors, I'm like, there's literally no reason for you to make it this big. And yeah, I just feel like there was so much of this plot and this story that I was like, Penny, what's going on here? As I said, I did like it, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't, and I believe 𝐉𝐻 from Liza James is a much better female romance than Twist 6 Venom is. It's darker, but it's just got some oomph to it, you know what I mean? Where this one had a little bit of oomph, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and it got lost amongst this random plot that I didn't quite understand, that I feel like didn't need to be in the book. The Dirty Air series. Now, this is from Lauren Asher. I'm reading this coming year. I own it. I'm ready for it. Maybe I'll do a reading vlog. I don't know, but I can't wait to read this. I want to see the hype. I've seen so many people read this series and absolutely love it. I believe there's 4 books. I'm here for it. I've never read anything from Lauren Asher, even though I own the Dirty Air series, so I don't know, but this has come up. You know what's also coming up? Ugly Love. Ugly Love has come up a ton, which I totally agree. I loved reading this, and I love Colleen Hoover, but I don't think that this book was as incredible and as emotional as everyone hyped it up to be. Addicted to You by Krissa and Becca Ritchie. So I haven't finished the series, but there's something missing. I said that in one of my recent videos, that I haven't finished the series and I'm planning on it in the new year because I feel like I'm going to love a certain couple in this series. I'm ready for them. I'm already thinking about them, you know? I want to get to their books. Fuck Lo and Lily off. I just feel like there's something about Lo and Lily that I just can't connect with, and it breaks my heart because I know how much this series is popular and how many people love it. But yeah, I felt a little underwhelmed by the first and halfway through the second book to the point where I stopped. Twisted Games by Anna, I can't say her last name, 𝐂𝐿. This one right here. I just read Twisted Love. Is that the first book? I haven't read this one, and I'm gonna read it. But without giving too much away, I get why people would be disappointed by this series just from the first book that I read. I get why some people would be, but yeah, I'm gonna read this. So again, to be continued. I'll let you guys know once I finish this how I feel. But this came up quite a bit too as a disappointing read of this year. Punk 57, yes, yes, yes. Even though I love Punk 57, I've recommended it a ton of times. I find it one of the most underwhelming books. Out of all of Penelope Douglas's books, to me, this one underwhelmed me the most. I prefer Twist 6 Venom over Punk 57. And this book obviously blew up on TikTok this year, so everyone went nuts over it. Even though this is quite an older release, a lot of people discovered it this year, read it this year, and a lot of people were disappointed by it this year. Oh, another Sophie Lark book. So this is The Brutal Prince. Now, I love Sophie. I think she's amazing. And I love so many of her books that I've read. I feel like with me and Sophie Lark's writing and her stories, I love some of her books, like love them. And then I'll read another one and it falls flat for me. It's very hit or miss. Some books I love, some books I don't love that much. I still have the Kingmakers series to read, which I want to read so bad because so many people are like, this is the best Mafia series like ever. And I'm like, okay. I've read over 200 Mafia books. Let me be the judge of this. You know what I mean? But yes, I liked The Brutal Prince and I recommend it quite often because I feel like a lot of people would love it. That's why I recommend it. But it wasn't a book that I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I do feel like for a Mafia author, Sophie is one of the best. The Casanova by T.L. Swann. Now, I love T.L. Swann and I love most of her books. But I will admit, the Casanova isn't my favorite out of her books. It fell a little bit flat for me. I did enjoy it. I wasn't in a good headspace at the time when I read it. And I feel like a lot of people will like it and have enjoyed it. But out of all her books, it's definitely not my favorite. And I was a little bit disappointed by it this year. Okay, so that is it for today's video. These were the most disappointing reads that you guys read this year. And I must admit, the same ones came up heaps. By Sin I Rise, Punk 57, a couple from Sophie Lark, like they were constantly coming up, the same ones. It just shows me that like most of my followers all have like a similar reading taste. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up, it helps me out so much. subscribe before leaving. I hope you guys have a really good New Year's. I'm so excited to create new content. I said on Instagram earlier on that I've already planned 20 new videos, a bunch of new recommendations, like new books, recommendations that I've never even spoken about before for 2022, and just a bunch of content that I'm ready to pump out. We just picked the next read for my book club. Don't forget, if you want to become a member, link is down below. I'm excited about this read because this romance book is something I've never read before, and I think it's gonna be really fun and exciting to read together and discuss. And yeah, 2021's over, baby. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the new year. Happy New Year, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.